Welcome to an episode of my Linux driver tutorials. Today I want to show you how you can allocate and use device data within your Linux device driver. But before we start, we have to take a look at our previous lecture and what we have done there. So as you can see here, I'm connected to my Raspberry Pi over SSH and I'm in my Linux driver tutorials folder. So let me go to 19 DTDev GPIOs, which was our last session. So last time we have added a device to the device tree with two GPIO properties. So if you're taking a look at my overlay.dts, you can see we have added my device to the root path of our device tree, and this device has two GPIO properties. So this device has one LED which we can control and one button we can control. And the goal of today's video is I want to write a driver which is able to handle multiple devices, because the driver which I have written in this lecture can only handle one device. And I will show you why just in a second. But first I will copy lecture 19 and I will create a new one which I will call DTDev data, and I will jump into it. So what do we have in here? My devdriver.c are the C sources of our driver. My overlay.dts is our device tree overlay. The makefile compiles the driver and the device tree overlay, and the readme give you some more information when you're viewing this on GitHub, for example. Okay, and the first thing I will do in my overlay.dts, I will add a second device. So I will copy 6 lines and I will add a new device which I will name my device 2. It is compatible with the same driver and it uses also two GPIOs. LED GPIO will be pin 19, and for the button I will use pin 16 here, just for an example. Okay, and if I would use this overlay with the existing driver, I would get a problem. And I will show you why when we're taking a look at the driver. So here we have our platform driver or device tree device driver, which is compatible with Brightlight mydev, which is the same compatible string as we have seen in the device tree overlay. And we have a probe function, we have a remove function, we bundle everything in a driver struct, and we're registering this at the operating system. And the problem now is the probe function is called for every compatible device which is added to our system. So before we only had one device. So my dev probe was called for my device, and down here we are reading in this GPIO from the device tree, and we are saving it in a global pointer which I have declared here as a global variable. And at the end, in the remove function, I will use this global pointer again to free the GPIOs. And the problem is now we have two compatible devices. So this function will be called once for my device and a second type for my device 2. And these global pointers will be overwritten. And to solve this, we need device data. So device data is the data which is assigned to every device within our driver. So yeah, let's allocate. And the thing is, because we don't know how many devices are available or added to the system, we have to allocate this device data dynamically. So yeah, let's go. But the first thing I want to do is, for the device data, I will use a struct, which I will call my dev data. And the struct has two fields, both are pointers from the type GPIO descriptor, and the first one I will name LED for the LED, and the second one I will name button for the button. And now in the probe function, the first thing we have to do is we have to allocate memory for our device data. So let me add a pointer here, which I will call priv for private data. And down here I will allocate memory for the device data. So one thing which I could do, I could use kset-alloc to dynamically allocate memory and to initialize the memory with zeros. So I have to allocate size of struct my dev data bytes of memory. and the flag will be GFP kernel for normal memory allocation. So I could allocate the memory like this, but the downside when using kset-alloc is, here whenever an error occurs I have to free the memory again, and of course in the remove function I would also have to free the memory. But the cool thing is there is an allocation function available for devices which is managed, and this function is called defm kset-alloc. And the big advantage is with the managed function, the availability of the allocated memory is binded to the device. So as long as the device is present, this memory will be present, but when the device disappears from the system, the memory will be freed automatically, so we don't have to take care of freeing this memory. And the only thing which is different with this defm kset-alloc function is, as a first argument we have to pass a pointer to the device for which the memory should be allocated. So yeah, this is how to use or how to allocate the device data and bind it to the lifetime of the device. Okay, the next thing we have to do is, of course, we have to check if an error or if the allocation was successfully, and the only reason why the allocation can fail is when we ran out of memory. So here let's print out an error, out of memory, and then let's return the error no memory here. Okay, and now we have allocated the memory for the device and it's available. So now we can use the device data here and store the GPIO descriptor for our LED in our allocated memory. Okay, and here the same for the button. And down here we are turning the LED on and we are reading in the button. Okay, but before we are returning from the probe function, we have to bind the memory to our platform device. And thankfully this platform device has a pointer which is called private or private data, and there is a function available to set this pointer to our device data which we have allocated. And this function is called platform set driver data. The first argument is the platform device to which we want to set the driver data, and the next argument is the device data which we want to set. And that's basically it. And here of course it should be also priv LED. And here in the remove function we want to fetch the device data again. So let me also declare a myDevData pointer here. And I will set this pointer to platform get driver data, and here we only have to pass a pointer to our platform device, which is just passed to the remove function, and then we have this data available and we can free the LED, or we can turn off the LED and we can free the GPIOs for the LED and for the button. Okay, so that should be it. Let me try to compile everything and let's see how much mistakes I've made. And as you can see here, I haven't connected both buttons, I only have connected the LEDs, so when I load the driver, the LED should be turned on for both devices, and when I'm unloading the driver, the LED should be turned off again. Okay, the compilation worked. Then let me fire up tmux and spawn a second window here where we can follow the Linux kernel's log. And in here first I will apply the device tree overlay. My overlay DTPO. So now we have added our two devices, and in proc device tree we should now see we have my device and my device 2, so we have two devices added to the device tree. And now let's load our driver. Okay. Yes, you have to believe me, it's a little bit hard to see, but both LEDs are on. Or the second one. No, the second LED is not on. Okay, now it's turned off again. So maybe did I choose the wrong GPIO? Yep, it seems I've chosen the wrong GPIO. So let's check. Oh, I've connected it to pin 16 and not to pin 19. So that's the error. So it's a correctable one. We have to open up our device tree overlay again. Here I will switch the LED and the button pin. I will compile the device tree overlay again. Then I have to remove the device tree overlay and reapply it. Here we go. And now I can load the driver again. And yeah, now you can see both LEDs are on when the driver is loaded. Okay, it's still a little bit hard to find, but this time it's really on. Yeah, the connection is not the best, but believe me, this time it's really on. And if I turn it off again, both LEDs are off again. Okay, cool. So that's how to use device data within our Linux device driver. I hope you've enjoyed the video and learned something. In case you want to support my work, you can buy me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/Johannes for Linux. So thanks for watching and goodbye.